We've had an amazing partnership with Red Bull over the last 6 to 7 years, and we do see it as a case study of partnerships for brands we associate with now. It started off as a pouring partnership, just to get to know each other as brands, and we actually spoke to them and said, why us? And it's because we focus on developing talent. We give people wings. We're a platform for the future generation of Indian cricketers. And Red Bull saw that back in 2018, and thankfully they can see that delivering now. They've supported on it as well through the Athlete Performance Centre and various other means. And so it's a really powerful partnership, one that excites players, excites the fans, creates amazing content, and helps the talent develop over the years as well. Yeah, it's still only a week gone by since the final, so disappointing not to go all the way to the final in Chennai. Obviously a final is always 50-50, and I think Kolkata deserved to win the trophy this year. But there were loads of positives. You see Riyan Parag's performance. I think he was the third highest run scorer ever for an Indian uncapped player. You saw Sanju Samson again leading the team exceptionally well. And that future generation of Indian talent, Dhruv Jurel, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Riyan Parag, Sanju, as well as the continued high performance of people like Yuzi Chahal and Ravichandran Ashwin. So lots and lots of positives. An amazing start, and again the bounce back against RCB in the playoffs. It's a lot of pressure coming back from 4 losses to do that and achieve that, and we want to go obviously a couple steps further next year. Yeah, I think the first one was actually the hiring of Michael Italiano, who worked with Red Bull Racing in F1. He heads our athletic and medical department, brings in amazing expertise from multiple different sports, was actually an ex-cricketer as well, so understands the game. But again, that elite knowledge at the top level and that coordination and collaboration, understanding how to get the most out of the Red Bull Athlete Performance Centre, understanding how to get the most out of our playing group and keep them fit and healthy during the season was immensely helpful. We had some of our high performance staff travel to visit the High Performance Centre in Austria, which again was hugely valuable for their development. And of course, some of the talent we're developing was there as net bowlers, making sure our batters were as prepared as possible during the season, which enabled them to have such successful seasons as well. Yeah, so through Red Bull Campus Cricket and through Red Bull Speedster, we think we have 2 great platforms to find top talent. Particularly Speedster for me, I think there are so many uncovered gems of Indian bowlers across the country. They might be playing tennis ball cricket, they might be playing in villages, but that natural raw talent, that ability to bowl 140, 150, we've seen through the Speedster trials and challenges over the last few years. We're going to do more and more with Speedster, expanding across the country to find top talent. So again, I expect in the years to come some of those bowlers coming through into the Rajasthan Royals side, hopefully performing on the big stage and helping us lift the trophy. I think any platform that gets top athletes competing at a top level helps the sport and helps the country. And so Campus Cricket is one of those elite platforms. Speaking to Sandy, speaking to Tanuj Kotian, the impact it has on these players, the positivity, that competitiveness that you'll see behind me right now, and that chance to be in trials with the Rajasthan Royals is extremely motivational and inspirational for these guys. So it gives them that little extra edge in the final. We've seen some brilliant talent coming through into our trials as well. And as I said, I'm sure there'll be many players coming through into the Rajasthan Royals side in years to come. I think that's the big question at the moment. I think there has to be a balance of continuity, having those players associated with the brand, the level of investment and development we put in as a franchise. You should be able to keep that core of your side together, but also you want the league to remain competitive. You want a little bit of churn of players, as I said, to build that competitiveness, to mean that any team can beat any team at any point in the season is important. So again, I think there should be more than has previously been done. Again, franchises are investing a lot more in the development of this talent, and for after 3 or 6 years to then not be able to retain those players can be a bit challenging. So I'm sure BCCI will find the right balance. And again, the fans want to see that core, particularly with our Indian quality core. We want that to remain with us for many years to come. It's interesting. Obviously, a mega auction is across 2 days. There's a huge amount more variability in it. However, the price extremes of a mini auction aren't quite there because there's so much more talent. So actually, there's positives on it because there's such a great supply of talent. You can manage things, you can be agile, and you can build a great squad. However, of course, there's a little bit more pressure. You're spending $10 to $12 million in 1 or 2 days, and you're pretty much setting the quality of your squad for the next 3 years. So if you have a good auction, like we did in 2022, you have a really competitive team through that cycle. If you don't have a good auction, then you're really battling against the tide through the following years. So again, we're analytically driven to make the best decisions possible. We prepare in huge amounts of depth for these auctions to give us the best chance of making the best decisions, building the best squad, and hopefully lifting that trophy. I don't think it will impact too much. I think anyway teams have big squads. We actually reduced the size of our squad this year to focus on having a really tight-knit unit, everyone with a chance to play, that keeps that camaraderie, competitiveness, and alignment through the season. Previously we've had 25, this year I think we had 21 players within our squad. So we've still had the depth required. If injuries happen, you can get replacements. So for me, I don't think the squad size will increase. I think it's about having the right support system. Again, Red Bull is very helpful, has some brilliant expertise that we bring in and leverage in that area. So for us, I think keeping it tight, keeping it focused will be important, and giving the guys the best platform to compete and win.